The last part of what I want to discuss in feedback is survey feedback. This is a very interesting form of feedback. This is normally not given for individuals but given for teams and for organizations. So you can conduct a survey feedback on provide a survey and then give feedback on employee engagement in a given company. You can also employee job satisfaction in a given organization or any matter, organizational culture. In fact, there are a number of tools that are available to survey the organizational culture of organizations. Sethumadhavan, Dalpat Sarupriya and I have in fact compiled all the instruments that were available till about mid-90s and made it in a book form, Measuring and Managing Organizational Climate, available from Academy of HRD. You can visit www.academyofhrd.org. You will get this book. So these tools are used to circulate, they use a 5-point scale, collect feedback from an organization, tabulate it department wise, age wise, sex wise, appearance wise, etc., and discuss with the organization what are the sources of happiness or discontentment, positive perceptions of the climate, or job satisfaction or lack of it, employee engagement or employee commitment or lack of it, and so on. So such survey feedback gives a lot of insights into any variable that you want to survey. These don't deal with personality, but these deal with responses or reactions of people to what they have been experiencing in a given organization. So that is why organizations, when they collect survey feedback, can act on this particular kind of a feedback and start improving themselves. However, I must tell you, in the last 15 to 20 years, I have been trying to impress on many organizations to use survey feedback also to get individuals to own the kind of responses that they have given. For example, when we did a survey in one of the national institutions, we discovered that people who were recruited by this institution around the same time got promoted and became, let us say, went up to the level of a deputy general manager, a senior deputy general manager working in a city. One had a satisfaction level of 35%, whereas another had a satisfaction level of 85%. And we discovered the reason for dissatisfaction of the 35% person is largely to do with the personal policies. The same personal policies which were sources of dissatisfaction for this person were sources of satisfaction for the other person. For example, the person whose social satisfaction is high didn't want to be posted in his home state. It is the philosophy, after certain years, you are not posted in your home state of this particular institution. But whereas the person who had low satisfaction wanted to be posted in his home state. So the same policy, when applied to two individuals, had different levels of satisfaction. That is true with many personal policies. So we discovered changing personal policies on the basis of employee satisfaction surveys, engagement surveys, etc. are not feasible, and any change in personal policy will make some happy and make others unhappy. So if you, for example, in this case, if we change the policy, the happy person will become unhappy, though the unhappy person may become a little more happier, and so on. So I started thinking that it is very important to use these surveys for individuals to recognize that they are responsible for their happiness or unhappiness. So you can't all the time blame the organization for your engagement or lack of commitment. If you are not committed, you need to be concerned more about your commitment rather than the organization. It is not to say organizations should not act on it. I strongly believe organizations should continually improve the workplace performance, providing the right kind of context, right kind of a space and things of that kind. However, I think individuals also should take responsibility to bring improvements in the way they perceive. And if, for example, if I am more committed individual as a result of some survey you conducted and you tell me that among the people you are in the bottom 10% of those who are committed, So better, I think, look at it, because the organization is same, but the commitment seems to be low. Would you really care about it and things of that kind? It is for me too. So these organizational surveys or survey feedback operates at two levels: at the group level or team level, at the organizational level, and also at the individual level. This is a very powerful tool. This is a very good tool to bring about changes both in individuals, teams, and in the organizational culture. We have found our octopus values: openness, collaboration, trust, proactivity, authenticity, confrontation, and experimentation. If you study these values using a questionnaire and ask people to assess their organization and later give feedback to both the individual as well as the organization, it can bring about changes both at the individual level as well as organizational level. These are extremely good tools to bring about improvements in organization, and these are good organization development tools. I hope you enjoyed this series on feedback, and please do apply, please do give us some feedback on how you found this series by writing to us at TVRLS or putting your post on the YouTube. I have rarely seen people give us any feedback. As a result, we sometimes feel with quite a bit of a question mark. So I would appeal to you to give your feedback and help us to improve our service to you. All the best from TVRLS.